What is up, my fellow quirky people? I've noticed that you guys are excited about Venom Let There Be Carnage as I am. Well, why shouldn't you be? This film looks absolutely awesome. Ever since the first Venom was announced, we all were excited because we knew that Carnage was going to show up sooner or later. He is a fan favorite symbiote, and now the fans have finally got him. And who better than Woody Harrelson to play the part? His addition to the franchise has been quite amazing, as he complements Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock perfectly well. But now that we've had a bit of him, it is going to be interesting to see how Venom 3 takes things forward. I mean, the multiverse is certainly opening up, and we might have the Spidey vs. Venom battle that literally everyone wants. But what's going to happen on the part of the symbiotes? This is a franchise that has a lot of potential to grow, and the way it could really take things to the next level is by introducing more symbiotes. We should either get to visit the Clintar planet, or other symbiotes should show up on Earth. Listening to this, you might be asking where this franchise could go on from here. Who could Sony bring in Venom 3 to fill in the shoes of Carnage? Well, the way I see it, they have quite a few choices on their hands. Before we look at them, it'd be nice if you guys would hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. And do press the notification bell so you don't miss out on our future videos. Okay, now here are all the symbiotes that could come into play in Venom 3 and beyond. Toxin. Stephen Graham is playing Patrick Mulligan in Venom Let There Be Carnage. And it is obvious that he is being set up to become the host of another symbiote named Toxin. Just like Carnage is the spawn of Venom, Toxin is the spawn of Carnage. And he is said to be even stronger and more savage than his father. So, maybe we're going to see Toxin be the symbiote villain of Venom 3. But apart from him, I would personally love to see someone like Scorn. This is the most unique symbiote created in the Marvel Universe. She has a connection to computers and technology because she was created by a part of Carnage and other technological and biological elements. So not only can she interact with mechanical and technological devices, but she can also control them. And I personally would love to watch such a unique symbiote show up on the big screen. Seeing Venom take her on would raise the bar, considering he hasn't really fought someone like her. And at the same time, the franchise would get more diversity, so that would be nice, I guess. But if not her, then they could go for Mania/Maniac. Unlike Scorn, this symbiote is actually a good one, like Venom. In the iteration where Flash Thompson had the Venom symbiote, he gave a segment of it to his friend Andrea Bento. She needed protection against the bad guys, so the symbiote allowed her to protect herself. She even took revenge from people who tried to harm her family, and then she began to call herself Mania. It's quite interesting that she even went on to become the yellow symbiote Scream in the later runs. The first Venom movie could have brought Scream into the mix, but it stuck only with Riot. Maybe Venom 3 could use Andrea Bento or someone like her to create Mania. This way, even Venom would have another symbiote to team up with. And then, she could go on to become Scream, while the black segment of Venom gets stolen from her. You see, in the comics, Lee Price would later steal the symbiote from her, and he became the villain Maniac. There are many ways this could be pulled off, but more than Mania or Maniac, the symbiote I really want to see is AntiVenom. The AntiVenom symbiote was created when Eddie Brock's illness was cured by a negative charge given to him by Mr. Negative. This happened when Venom left Eddie Brock and bonded with some other host. The negative charge reacted to the remnants of the Venom symbiote left behind in Eddie's body. So, my theory is that maybe in the future, Venom could leave Eddie Brock behind. After that happens, Eddie Brock could become the white symbiote. Seeing the color scheme of AntiVenom come to life would be pretty pleasing to the eyes. And along with him, we could see the return of She-Venom. As I've mentioned, Venom and Eddie could take a break from each other. They already seem like an old married couple fighting all the time. So, a break could do them wonders. And while Eddie turns into AntiVenom, Venom could go and bond with Anna Weying. Those two paired up very briefly in the first Venom, and I'd like to see a little more of that. This way, Eddie could actually have a partner, since we'd have both She-Venom and AntiVenom together. But if you don't like the idea of revisiting She-Venom, then I'd suggest someone like Black Spider-Man. As I've mentioned in the beginning, Venom 3 could give us a Venom vs. Spider-Man battle. So now that Eddie is supposed to encounter Peter Parker, maybe Pete could be the host that Venom bonds with while he leaves Eddie behind. I know that we saw this in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3, and it didn't turn out to be a successful move, but maybe it could happen differently in the future. Tom Holland's Peter Parker being the host of Venom would allow Venom to gain his abilities too. That's because symbiotes are able to absorb and retain the abilities of their former hosts. So when Venom returns to Eddie Brock, he'd have a whole new upgrade, and he could even take a liking to the spider symbol and get a big one for himself. Next up, I'd like to see Scorpion. In the Dark Avengers run, Spider-Man villain Matt Gargan actually became the Black Spider-Man by bonding with Venom. But as you might be aware, he is known to be Scorpion. We are certainly going to see this version of Scorpion sometime in the MCU. But what if Michael Mando's Matt Gargan actually becomes the symbiote version of Scorpion after that? It is highly likely that Spider-Man's world will unite with the SPUMC. Adrian Toomes is already supposed to appear in Morbius. So along with Toomes and Peter Parker, even Matt Gargan could make the jump, and his version of Scorpion could come across a fragment of Venom or some other symbiote to become the deadly Scorpion Clinter. When this happened in the books, Gargan's mind was morphed. He became pretty sadistic and gained the combined abilities of Scorpion and Venom. But more than Scorpion, I'd love it if we were to see the symbiote god, Knull. Sony Pictures' universe of Marvel characters needs a Thanos-level big bad. And I believe that this big bad villain could be none other than the controller of the hive minds, Knull. He was born of the dark abyss housed in between the 6th and 7th cosmos, and he created the first symbiote. So I believe that if Venom 3 is supposed to bring in other symbiotes, or probably even take us to the Clinter planet, then Knull has to appear in some way, shape, or form. Venom recently defeated him in the King in Black storyline, so I'd love to see that happen in live action. He could be teased just like Thanos cameoed in The Avengers, or like Darkseid showed up in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Then, we might see him in a future Sony exclusive crossover event, or perhaps in Venom 4. Void Knight. Knull is certainly the strongest amongst all symbiotes, but he also created another powerful symbiote called Void Knight. He went on to pose a great threat to Venom, but he was actually created to battle the Silver Surfer. Now we may not get to witness such a cosmically powered symbiote in Venom 3. But if Venom 4 takes things to the Clinter planet, then we could see Void Knight appear as one of his generals. Apart from him, I'd also like to see Big Mother. She is another one of Knull's greatest creations. Knull actually created a few symbiote dragons, but Big Mother turned out to be an even more powerful beast than those dragons. In fact, she even led the dragons into battle, and that's how she came to be called Khaleesi. She came to be called Big Mother. What's crazy is that in the comics, she traveled to Earth hundreds of years ago and was used as a weapon of mass destruction. So maybe the future Venom movies could use her like the MCU is giving us the Eternals. I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. But when we do visit Clinter, I certainly want to see a hybrid. The first Venom movie was inspired by the Lethal Protector storyline from the comics. The story had pit 5 powerful symbiotes against Venom, who were Riot, Lasher, Scream, Phage, and Agony. One of the 5, we only got to witness Riot going up against Venom. But in the books, these 5 symbiotes actually combined together and formed hybrid. Now we may not get to see a hybrid of these symbiotes, but on Clinter, a few other symbiotes could form a hybrid to go up against Venom and his team. Finally, I'd love to see Agent Venom. As I've mentioned, Flash Thompson bonded with the Venom symbiote in one iteration of his story. He became the totally badass Agent Venom. This may not happen in the MCU, since their Flash Thompson is not the kind of guy needed for this role. It may not even happen with Joe Manganiello, considering that he isn't interested in the role. So, Sony Pictures' universe of Marvel characters could introduce their own Flash Thompson in the future, and Venom could go on to bond with him. Okay, that's all. Let us know which other symbiotes should appear in the Venom threequel. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!